Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're shifting focus a bit. We're not really looking at the usual finance hubs or those glittering skylines. We are going deep, really deep into Wan Chai, Hong Kong. Thinking about it less as just a district and more like a living thing, shaped by history, geography, and just human resilience.
Right. Wan Chai is what some scholars call an eternal palimpsest.
Okay, palimpsest, like an old manuscript.
Exactly. Imagine scraping off the old text and writing something new. But those faint traces of the old words, they still show through. They still matter.
Got it. So we're peeling back the modern surface, going underneath. What's our mission here for you, the listener? We're aiming to explore, 5 key stories, these sort of wrinkles in time?
That's the plan. To see how this place, Wan Chai, which just means small bay, how it became this bustling, complex area.
And to get that, you really have to start with the ground itself, right? The geography.
Absolutely. I mean, the Wan Chai you walk around today, a huge chunk of it is reclaimed land. It's literally built on humanity pushing back the sea.
We know Hong Kong does a lot of reclamation, but you mentioned this started way back, and it wasn't smooth sailing, even in the 1850s.
Oh, definitely not. Those early efforts, they ran into serious opposition.
Why? Who was pushing back?
Well, think about it. The wealthy folks, the elites who owned prime waterfront property, shipyards, boat facilities, that sort of thing, they did not want the government messing with their coastline access. It was valuable.
Oh, okay. So a classic power struggle. Landowners versus, I guess, the colonial state wanting to expand.
Pretty much. You had the grassroots maritime life, these elite economic interests, and the government's ambitions all clashing.
How did the government eventually win that one to push the sea back so far?
Sheer willpower and, well, massive engineering. The most dramatic example. Around 1924, they took Morrison Hill, a big recognizable landmark, and just leveled it.
Leveled a whole hill.
Yep, and used all that rock and soil to fill in the bay. It completely redrew the map. And that physical act, that violence against the landscape almost, it sets up our first story perfectly. The story of the sea god's exile.
Okay, the sea god. This ties into the Hung Shing Temple.
Exactly. This temple is dedicated to Hung Shing, the god of the South Sea. Super important for the fishing communities. It was built way back before 1847, and crucially, it was right on the waterfront, facing the sea. It was their spiritual anchor.
But then the land reclamation started happening all around it.
Right. The water receded, metaphorically and literally. That huge 1924 reclamation, it left the temple completely high and dry on Queens Road East.
So it's deep inside the city now, miles from the actual harbor.
Well, not miles, but hundreds of meters. It's completely landlocked. It's this really poignant symbol, this geographical exile of the sea god. The god meant to watch the waves ended up staring at trams and buildings. It perfectly shows how the whole economy shifted, from maritime life to real estate.
That's a powerful image, a sea god stuck inland. So if you're there today trying to feel that lost coastline, what's the hidden gem? What should you look for?
Okay, you need to look really closely right next to the main temple. There's this tiny little adjacent shrine. It's called the Looking at the Sea Guanyin Temple. Wang Hoi Guanyin Mu. The name itself, Looking at the Sea.
Ah, it tells the story right there.
It's like this quiet plea, remembering where the water used to be. Standing there, you have to imagine waves where there's now concrete. It forces that reflection.
And that area, Queens Road East, it connects to other histories too, doesn't it? Including the less savory side of colonial economics.
It does. If you walk down Spring Garden Road nearby, well, the name comes from a mansion owned by Thomas Dent. He was a partner in Jardine Matheson.
Which means?
A major player in the early opium trade. So right from the start, you have this mix. Chinese faith, the sea, local life, rubbing up against colonial power and wealth built on, frankly, exploitation. It's all layered together.
So that conflict over land shaped the physical space. Let's shift to how conflict, actual war, shaped the emotional space, the trauma.
And that brings us, unfortunately, to a place many people know today, Southorn Playground.
Southorn Playground. Yeah, it's always busy. Basketball, tai chi, community events. It feels like the heart of Wan Chai in many ways. Someone called it the most popular piece of reclaimed land on the island.
And all that life, all that modern energy.
Yeah.
It's happening right on top of some really deep trauma. During World War II, the Japanese occupation from 41 to 45, they used Southorn Playground. It was converted into a major military district office.
An office. Or more than that.
Yeah.
What do the historical accounts say? We need to be clear about this.
Well, historical accounts and also just persistent local stories, they describe it as a site for interrogation, for torture, including horrific water torture,
Yeah.
and executions
Executions.
on the playground.
The report suggests that many victims were simply buried right there, underneath where people play today.
Oh, wow. That idea. Kids playing basketball literally above unmarked graves. That's what you mean by a traumatic palimpsest, isn't it?
Exactly. It's like all that noise, the movement, the energy, the sweat. It's the city's way of unconsciously trying to push down, to overlay that horrific history, to suppress it. But it doesn't entirely go away.
No. You still hear ghost stories about the area. Maybe those aren't just spooky tales. Maybe they're the collective memory refusing to be completely silenced. It reminds us that the vibrancy today sits on top of immense suffering. It asks something of you as a visitor to acknowledge that.
Okay, so if Southern is about buried memory, let's pivot to how the Wan Chai community actively built and preserved its own identity and resilience. I'm thinking of the Blue House complex.
Yes, that's a great transition. It shows the strength of the community. The blue house and the yellow and orange houses next to it on Stone Nula Lane, they are just fantastic examples of what we call living heritage. These are pre-war Tonglao, built around 1923, 1925, really special buildings.
Can you quickly paint a picture? What's a Tonglao?
Think narrow, multi-story buildings, often shops on the ground floor, homes above. They usually have these lovely deep balconies, verandas, a real blend of Southern Chinese style and some Western construction techniques. But the truly amazing thing about the Blue House complex is the philosophy that saved it. It wasn't just about saving the architecture. It was retain the structure, retain the people. Keep the community intact.
That's really different, isn't it? Not just making it a museum piece. So how did they keep the people part, the function alive?
Well, for decades, starting in the 60s, it housed a very famous martial arts school run by Lam Cho. And his son kept the tradition going with a dit clinic right there.
That's traditional bone setting, right? For injuries, breaks.
Exactly. And think about the colonial era. Access to Western medicine wasn't always easy or affordable for working-class Chinese people. So having a martial arts school for self-defense and a dit clinic for healing, it made the Blue House this incredible hub of self-reliance. Community care, physical protection, healthcare, all in one place. That's the non-material culture that's so important.
And the hidden gem aspect here is that it didn't become static.
Precisely. It wasn't frozen in time. It evolved into the Hong Kong House of Stories. It's still a community hub, a living place where you, the visitor, can actually engage with history, not just look at it behind glass. It's dynamic.
Right. Okay, let's walk just a little way from there to Ship Street. Another layer, another kind of tension.
Yeah, Ship Street named because it used to be near the old pier, where Johnston Road is now. It offers a different kind of story. It shows us the aspirations, the aesthetics of the 1930s.
And you wanted to zero in on one building. Number 18 Ship Street. It's a historic building, grade 2 second listed.
That's the one, built in 1937. And architecturally, it's pretty stunning.
What should people look for?
It's 3 stories, that classic mix of shop below, homes above. But it really captures the Art Deco style that was big in the 30s. You see these clean geometric lines, some nice detailing on the outside, volumetric shapes. And it blends Chinese functional layout with Western building styles. If you can peek inside, the mosaic floor tiles are often beautifully preserved. Real elegance for its time.
But, and there's always a but in Wan Chai, isn't there? This elegance sits right next to something much darker.
That's the unavoidable contrast. This beautiful piece of architecture reflecting hope and modernity. It's just one street over from places like Nam Kwu Terrace. And Nam Kwu Terrace has a horrific history as a wartime comfort station, a military brothel during the Japanese occupation.
So you have this aspiration and beauty right next door to unimaginable brutality.
Exactly. That tension is key.
Yeah.
You admire the Art Deco lines of number 18, but you have to remember the context. Aesthetic sophistication and human atrocity coexisting in the same tiny urban footprint. It forces you to look deeper than just the pretty facade.
The layers are just so dense there. Okay, to sort of bring all these threads together, the change, the art, the memory, let's talk about an artist who captured Wan Chai's spirit. Louis Chan.
Louis Chan, the king of watercolor. His life and his art are almost a perfect mirror of Wan Chai's and Hong Kong's transformation. He started out painting very detailed, realistic scenes, capturing the old city, very precisely. But then, after World War II, Hong Kong just exploded, industrialized, grew chaotically, and his art changed completely.
How so? How did it reflect that change? It wasn't realism anymore.
Not at all. He shifted into these incredible abstract works. Really colorful, dreamlike, almost like looking through a kaleidoscope. Fractured images, bursting colors. It was like he was painting the sheer energy, the chaos, the cultural collisions of post-war Wan Chai happening all around him.
So he was living it, breathing it, and painting it right there in the neighborhood?
Absolutely. He lived and worked in Wan Chai for years. The city was his muse, especially its turbulent transformation. He was chronicling it artistically.
And the final hidden gem connects back to that reclamation theme, doesn't it, with the Hong Kong Art Center?
It does. The Arts Center was built later, post-1969, on that newer reclaimed land to the north. And, very fittingly, inside the Arts Center, there's a permanent exhibition, the Louis Chan Studio. They've used his actual things, his works, to recreate his old Wan Chai workspace.
So the new cultural landscape, built on conquered sea, holds the memory of the artist who painted the old city vanishing.
It's the perfect palimpsest, isn't it? The new structure preserving the ghost of the old creative life.
Okay, so let's pull these 5 stories back together. We keep coming back to this idea of the eternal palimpsest. What's the big takeaway? You mentioned an ethics of landscape.
Yeah, I think the key thing for you as someone exploring Wan Chai is to recognize that the comfort, the convenience, the prosperity you see now, it's built on top of these hidden layers. You've got the conquered sea, symbolized by that exiled sea god. You have the trauma buried under Southorn Playground. You have the resilience and community spirit saved in the Blue House. And the sharp, painful contrasts on Ship Street. It demands acknowledgement.
So these hidden gems, these stories, they aren't just trivia, they're like portals asking us to engage.
Exactly. They force you to see beyond the surface, to witness the struggles, the survival, the way people held onto their identity through huge, relentless change.
It really does transform Wan Chai from just another busy district into something much richer, like a living history book.
It's that constant conversation, isn't it? Between what's visible and what's buried. That's where the profound meaning lies.
So here's something to think about as we wrap up. A final thought for you. Given that so much of Wan Chai's story involves literally conquering nature, the sea, and also suppressing difficult memories, like at Southern, what responsibility do you have, whether you're a traveler or just living your life? Should we stop sometimes and try to listen? Listen for those whispers of the land beneath the noise of our own modern cities.
What silent layers, what hidden histories might be sitting right under your feet wherever you are.
Something to consider. We hope this deep dive encourages you to look for them.